After a year, a museum in Northeast Ohio offers so much more than just nostalgia.
David Moss hops in the car for another one-tank trip to a museum that shows off America's history in a unique way.
It's a collection of restored World War II airplanes, and better than that, it's the story of the men who flew them. It's like a trip back in time. It's called Liberty Aviation Museum, and it's a one-tank trip. We have a lot of military vehicles, civilian vehicles here. We're much more than just an aviation museum. About an hour west of Cleveland, in Port Clinton, is one of the finest museums in the Midwest. In 1929, Transcontinental Air Service, which ultimately became TWA, began the first cross-country flights from New York City to California. The aircraft they used were the Ford Trimotors. And we have one of those two airplanes that started it all. The airplane is available for rides to the public, and if you're lucky enough to be here on weekends that it's operating, feel free to come on out and we'll get you a ride in it. We also have a great deal of other aircraft and vehicles of interest to people of all ages, and including our flagship airplane, and that's the B-25 Mitchell, and the airplane flies regularly throughout the year at air shows. The museum also features some interesting clothing. I mean, there's everything from early stewardess uniforms to movie memorabilia, and one of the more popular is the Hogan's Heroes exhibit. We have Hogan's uniform jacket, we have Colonel Klink's jacket, we have Schultz's uniform, including the coffee pot. That is all on display here. Something I found really interesting was the museum's collection of early airline seats, and unbelievably, they're made of wicker. And if you're wondering about the legroom, guess what? They actually had less than we have today. They held between anywhere from 12 to 15 people on board, and everybody, they always joke, had an aisle seat and everybody had a window seat. And surprisingly, with only 12 to 15 seats, you actually did have a steward on board that catered to every need that you might have in the airplane. If you enjoy seeing early military vehicles, you are in the right place. And amazingly, almost all of them work. After all that, if you're hungry, check this out, an original stainless steel diner attached to the museum. We have the Tin Goose Diner, which is on site at the museum, built in 1948, and it's all authentic, all stainless steel, and anything from your burgers to hand-cut onion rings and french fries, hand-dipped milkshakes, and it's a real fun diner to take your meal in, because you can also watch the airplanes at the museum take off and land. And of course, the best part is, it's just a one-tank trip. David Moss, Fox 8 News.
Lots of options there. Good stuff.
Yeah. Well, for more details, directions, and links to today's one-tank trip, go to fox8.com. Watches and phones and iPads, oh my.
Up next, get all the specs and details for all the new Apple products that just made their debut this week, including the new iPhone 13.